TVs on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects. This flu season update is sponsored by Exergen. Vaccinated against COVID? Great, but don't forget the annual flu shot. Here's CBS News' Dr. Tara Narula on who's eligible to receive one.
It's recommended for anyone over the age of 6 months, those who are particularly vulnerable, kids, the elderly, pregnant women, and those with chronic health conditions.
Fever is the #1 COVID symptom, so be safe with an accurate thermometer. Only Exergen is proven accurate in more than 100 studies. Learn more at exergen.com.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL AM/FM and .com.
That cool fall air we had since this weekend, gone for now. Looks like we'll stay warm and humid. It was certainly a warmer, more humid day today as afternoon highs got back into the low mid-80s, and the mugginess has returned along with some scattered showers, most of which will be ending through this evening and tonight. Expecting Monday the same, and about a 40% chance of rain on Thursday. WWL.
Hey.
Hi. Chris Franklin will be back with your local weather expert forecast. Coronavirus numbers in Louisiana continuing to slide. WWL.
What time is he coming on?
The latest.
What time is the guest coming on?
Joe? At about 8:20, 8:25.
More people have died. Hospitalizations dipped to below 400 yesterday, and they are still going down. Only 55 people are currently on ventilators.
There's concern the state is once again burning through the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund faster than it can be replenished. Legislative Joint Budget Chairman Jerome Zering noted Louisiana is paying out about $6 million a week in benefits without additional federal assistance. That rate is unsustainable.
Yeah.
Hopefully there may be an infusion of cash, but there may not be. And if there's not, we're in the trajectory for a significant problem.
Should the fund run dry in states, federal government,
What are you talking about?
states and businesses would see
They run out of money for the unemployment.
on payroll. WWL's Kevin Gallagher reports this
Let's see.
evening state lawmakers begin a 9-city tour of public forums on redistricting Louisiana.
But they're not paying the extra. They're just paying the straight.
Yeah, but so many people are unemployed.
Legislature, that's even so much more. Slidell Senator Sharon Hewitt chairs the
Oh,
Senate Governmental Affairs Committee and takes
Tip off of unemployment. They interviewed me today.
What'd you say?
I told exactly what happened.
What'd you say?
I said that she was out for a month and a half. She wanted to take 2 more 2-week vacations. We tried to compromise with her. She wouldn't compromise, so she was fired.
She really didn't. She wasn't fired. She left.
No. I mean, she quit. She was fired. She would have came back.
They're gonna pay her.
I don't know. They just wanted to interview me. It's up to them.
The Sabine Sheriff's Office says they're
Probably
searching
will.
for information that may lead to the person or persons responsible for Rome's death.
Probably will.
Some subjects of interest that we want to speak with, and then we'll go from there, and hopefully we can come to a good conclusion on this case.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Yeah, no. It's-
You know, the good news is the tropics are quiet. Bad news is the warm, humid, more tropical air is back.
Is it gonna be hot this weekend?
Well, it'd be comfortable. I mean, it'd be like 65.
It's not gonna be cool though.
No, it's not gonna be cool.
Is it gonna be humid?
A little bit, but it'll be it'll be like in the late 60s.
Thursday, kind of a repeat, about a 40 to 50% chance for scattered showers and storms to highs in the mid-80s. May see a slight drop in humidity late Friday, Saturday as a weak cold front moves through. Don't expect much from it. Still warm and humid by Sunday with the spotty showers. Mostly dry Monday and Tuesday, but highs in the mid-80s and a better chance of rain by the mid to end of next
Let's see.
week. And this is the long range, but hopefully a cooler Halloween. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL-TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From the station you turn to when it counts. WWL-AM/FM.com and the Odyssey app. Louisiana's official emergency management station. This is Recovery
guess we're
Connection
on.
with attorney Doug Sinceri. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Dealers Talk and Text line, 504-260-4870.
I got your glasses.
Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal.
Got the girl glasses on.
Here's Doug.
Hey, good evening, Doug Sinceri. Michelle Demmer Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection. We're here to answer your Hurricane Ida insurance claims. And also, if you want to hear the latest on the LSU coaching search, which has equal importance in the state of Louisiana.
And in the South.
In the state of Louisiana and the South. But you call us at 260-1870 at our Oakland Heart Talk and Text line. You can text your questions or you can call in and we'll answer it. We got a great guest. We got a great program because a lot of people are calling about solving their insurance problem. And there's a vehicle that was put in by Insurance Commissioner Jim Donnellan, which is a mediation program with the local mediation firms. And Joe Hassinger, probably he's the new, I guess we'll call him president, owner of MAPS, which is a mediation firm that's been around as long as mediation's been around in the greater New Orleans area. It's probably one of the first mediation firms. And now they have a big old roster of mediators. They're going to participate in the program. He's going to explain that if you're at an impasse with the insurance company, there is going to be an alternative where you can get in a room with the claims adjuster or insurance representative and hash out your differences and possibly settle the claim.
It's going to be a great program. I think it'll help a lot of people.
Right. I think it gives people hope because it feels, I'm finding two things. People are feeling very helpless and feeling very off the charts frustration, which both play into each other.
Sure. I think it's not only with the claims, though, but it's also about, I was speaking with a client today, that, you can't find a contractor.
Yes, the whole process.
The whole process is, so, even if you get your money or you get your first payment and you need a supplemental, it's hard to get a contractor to come out to give you an appraisal.
So, and much less do the work.
Right.
Or someone who's licensed and insured and credentialed to do it. So I think this is a great step. I commend Commissioner Donnellan. I'm a fan of his. He does a really good job, and he's done a great job in this post aftermath of Hurricane Ida, and he's taken some stands that aren't popular with some of the insurance companies regarding the evacuation expenses or additional living expenses or the civil authority provisions. And he's put in this program, and I think it's great. And the other thing, too, it's good for the insurance companies because when these disputes linger on, it costs them money, and they like to close files. So this will be a forum. Now, I know in my experience in mediation as an attorney, I think I've probably been through 1,000 of them through the course of 30 years. And the success rate is about 90% with me.
Yeah, most cases that I've mediated, we've settled.
Yeah.
There's only been a handful that we've walked away, and then most of the time we've gone back and
a lot of it is to have it aired out in the same room, everybody concentrating on the same issues, and having someone in the middle, sort of saying, facilitating this and talking about, what is just going from room to room and having a honest discussion with both parties.
Yeah, I think what it does too is we attorneys, we see the weaknesses and the strengths in our case, but sometimes our clients can't. So to have a neutral third party either point out a weakness in the other side or a strength in your side and vice versa, I think it helps. You
know what I did for the Katrina claims? I used to play a little game where I would write down what I thought the case would settle for.
Before we would with yourself?
Yeah, game myself. And I write it down, and sometimes I tell the client because you have to let the client go through the process because when they get their first offer, they get all upset, and then we submit a highball offer, and you go back and forth, and you come to a number. But I think most of the time I was within about 10% because you could just have a feel, and usually the mediator has a feel as to what's a good range for a settlement. Now, I think from the policyholder's perspective, they're not ecstatic about the settlement because they're giving up a little bit, but they can live with it. And there's a sense of relief and saying, okay, and finality. in the sense that, okay, this is the money I have to work with, and this is what I'm going to use it. And you have a game plan on how to use it to get your house back into shape and sort of deal with whatever you're dealing with as far as Katrina's concerned. And so I think I still got, after 16 years, I'm still PTSD from Katrina claims. But Ida, thank you there.
Yeah.
Wives are such a moderating influence on men. Do you know that?
I know.
You know that, huh? Sometimes it's difficult to be moderating. So we have Joe Hassinger, and I guess just the general comments. And I'm glad Joe's coming on now because, during the day, I just, we talk to so many different people, and I spend probably 2 hours a day now just answering questions.
Right.
People call and they have questions, and I'll spend a little time with them on the phone. And it is just so frustrating. I feel the frustration level. And it's a lot of things. You've been through a difficult situation, especially the people in St. John's Parish and St. Charles Parish. Have people sleeping in their tents in the backyard. They have
terrible.
people in RVs, just living under really adverse circumstances. So you're dealing with that. Then they're dealing with, difficulties in pulling their insurance claim together, difficulties in trying to understand the process. And a lot of insurance companies are not able to administer high volume of claims in an efficient manner.
Yeah, I don't think that they were prepared. I think a lot of them were very ill prepared for this storm.
Right. And or it's taken a little while for them to labor up and sort of catch up. But it's just one frustration after the other. And I could just hear the I guess frustration, the anxiety is probably a good word. And, I think tonight will give some hope on, hey, this is, they may be a forum to have a resolution.
This is for wind-driven policies, correct?
This is for homeowners with claims less than $50,000.
But it's not flood insurance.
No, flood's a different deal.
Yeah.
Flood is underwritten by NFIP.
I just wanted to have that clear.
Yeah, so it's not for flood claims, right? And we've talked about flood and wind claims are totally different animals.
Let me ask you this: for a flood policy, I know you have to file your proof of loss. Have they extended the deadline yet?
I haven't checked. Or you know what? It's getting close. It's
close.
Day 52. Actually, I'm glad you reminded me. I'm going to call Commissioner Donlan's office. If it hadn't been, his secretary is wonderful. And I will remind her, we did that for the Baton Rouge claim.
I just don't think people understand that. I talked to a client today who had
I'm pretty sure they're going to extend it. I have to check. I should probably check before it came on air, but I would suspect they would, and they typically do a couple of extensions at the very least.
Do they do a community service, like announcement? Do they send anything out?
Yeah, they'll do a bulletin. FEMA do a bulletin, and we have to sort of. They'll usually report it to the newspaper, and they'll have a little bulletin. And gotcha. Okay, and we have Kristen. That's Jim Donlan's right hand lady, and we'll give her a call tomorrow and make sure if it hasn't been extended, we'll just I guess lobby for that and go to our website on Facebook. Nico and Sinceri, our personal, and we'll post whether it has been extended or not. So let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Thomas. He's got a question. Hey, Thomas, my man, what you got for us, brother?
Well, I've got two questions, pretty quick. Number one, if someone comes to give you an estimate, do they charge? I mean, that's what they charge.
Well, some do. Yeah. I mean, you have some people who give estimates for the purpose of submitting to the insurance company, public adjusters, contractors, they may charge. Now, the contractors that do the work for you probably wouldn't because they want to get the work. Now, yes, sir.
They say they'll take it off the price.
Well, one of the things, too, if they do charge you for an estimate, I think you submit it to the insurance company because they're defining the scope of damages. And so, yes, sir, Thomas.
No, Someone, I've asked someone to give me a price on a job.
Mhm.
They said they can do it in 3 months, but they won't have the money down.
No. You bring up a great point. You bring up a great point. There's several ways to deal with it. Generally, 10 or 20% is enough. Now, if they say I have to like buy roofing supplies, and that might be maybe 30 or 40% of the job, if you're a homeowner, you tell them, okay, if you have the supplies delivered on my lawn, I'll pay you. So because if you pay them in advance, you might not hear from them for another 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then they have your money.
This is a fence company, and they said, I called them today, they say they can do it, but it won't be till January or February.
Yeah. I would. It's probably better not to do that.
Or I think if you're going to do it, I would make sure you make sure that they're registered with the Secretary of State, that they are of license, that they're insured.
Now, what you can tell them though is if I'm going to put half down, I want the materials delivered to my property. So at least you have the supplies, or and I don't know that. You probably know better than me, Thomas, because I know you're a regular. Whether on Sunday mornings, on whether the cost, the supply cost for a fence would be more than 50%, the initial outlay.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right, we'll talk to you on Sunday, right? All right, brother. Good to hear from you. All right, we're gonna take a break. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri. On the IDA Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Get ready for the Saints battle with Seattle on Monday Night Football.
Okay, I have Mr. Hassinger is on the line, ready to go.
Gotcha.
At 5 o'clock, the Bud Light Countdown to Kickoff with Bobby Abear and Christian Garrett featuring Mike Detillier. Game time, 7:15 p.m. Turn down the TV and sync up to Mike Hodge and Steve McAllister. Then, after the game, sound off with the Cajun Cannons, Saints at Seahawks. Monday night on WWL.
Then, no matter what size she wears, there always comes a day when she says,
It would definitely be okay if these diamond stud earrings were a little bit bigger. Thousands of women want a pair of Ramsey's diamond studs. When your diamond stud earrings come from Ramsey,
you always get 100% of the current value.
when you trade up for a larger pair,
Find her Ramsey's diamond studs and bring them to us.
you'll pay only the difference when you trade up for bigger ones. If she doesn't have a pair of Ramsey stud earrings,
You need to fix that.
we have them for as little as $299. And Ramsey stud earrings are cut to glitter in the dark.
We're going to package her new diamonds in a fabulous presentation box
And gift wrapping so gorgeously that everyone will take photos.
before she even opens it.
And after she opens it, you're the man.
The largest diamond store in Louisiana is Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers on Veterans between Bonneville and West End in Metairie.
I'm attorney Mike Brandner. If the insurance company
It's the wrong one.
barely after an accident,
13.
you wouldn't be in business.
No wonder.
Judges and attorneys working against
Is that what you were reading last
to
night?
get you as little as possible for
You
your
printed it out last night.
call the insurance company.
I ran the wrong one off.
Call us, we call them, and they know they have to pay. We'll fight hard to get you all the money you deserve. Don't settle for less.
Huh,
Call
that's not from last night.
111.
Yeah, just pull.
It's not from last night.
Oh, that's what it is. All right, that's what it is.
What are you doing?
What's that?
This from, when's that from?
Outdoor dining with poker and beignets with cafe au lait. Our grills are ready to prepare.
What's the date on that one?
Huh?
What's the date on that one?
It was last Wednesday. I ran off
What's
the
the date on
wrong.
that one?
That's yesterday, but it's the same. It's the same announcements.
Fall food celebration.
Hi, I'm Rusty Jenkins, Regional Sales Manager for Louisiana Land Bank. A lot of us at Louisiana Land Bank own land.
How we doing on
We
text?
understand that.
None.
We've been
Except we
there
got that same one from the guy, but Jim
It's all
Donald.
about relationships to us. We go
Same
to
thing you said last night.
tables, we go to camps, anywhere that the borrower is located, we go to them.
Oh, that guy. He's met us.
Out there, who are
Every time I mention
considered a piece of American
Donlin, he texts us.
We're here for you.
Louisiana.
I like Jim. He's a good guy.
People from all over Louisiana are taking advantage of 5 years zero interest financing at Diamonds Direct. But time is running out. You have until this Saturday to take advantage of this amazing offer. How about a $10,000 engagement ring for just $167 a month? Everything's included, plus a portion of proceeds from every purchase will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. This is the last week to take advantage of this offer. 5 years zero interest financing through Saturday only, and only at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue.
Oh, according to research, 82 would go after the video ads. That means
No Big Lou yet.
of you listening right now will remember that this
Big Lou. I have this whole narrative with Big Lou.
We didn't. I haven't heard our commercial in a while.
Huh?
I haven't heard our commercial.
They've been on. We've been on. I think they played once. Albert, he rotates. Yeah, he rotates us in and out.
Technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply. Who are you talking to? 82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to know is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sinceri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. And, we're Tiger fans, right?
We are.
Yes, LSU battles Ole Miss Rebels on Saturday. Game day starts at 10 o'clock. Join the resident Marine, Christian Garrick, and Saints all-time leading quarterback, Herb Tyler, for the Gulf Coast Bank and Trust Tiger Tailgate Show. And we bank at Gulf Coast. Our law firm does, huh?
We do.
And at 12:30 is the Voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair, with the LSU official pregame show. Kickoff at 2:30, and actually kickoff is at 2:39. And people are asking before we get to Joe, is Lane Kiffin have any shot at being the LSU coach? Lane wants the job. Through the back channels, he wants it, but he's not going to get it.
Yeah, well, I don't think LSU.
Because you know what? Yeah, LSU. Lane off the field would make Coach O look like a Franciscan monk.
And didn't they put to rest the Davos?
Yeah, they made the call today, and Dabo said no.
Yeah.
So Mel Tucker's the odds-on favorite, but Scott Woodward, he works the back channels. I mean, whatever he's doing. There's 2 things I know. Is that William Tate, the president, is injecting himself more than he would like, than Woodward would like. And the second thing I know is Scott holds his cards close to his vest.
Who has the ultimate say?
That's the problem. It should be Scott.
Yeah.
But I think there's a veto power.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Joe Hassinger. Joe is the president, owner, manager, runs the place at MAPS Mediation. And he's going to tell us about the new mediation program that was instituted by Commissioner Jim Donlin. And little glimmer of hope for some homeowners who are struggling with their insurance companies. Joe, thanks for joining us.
Doug, Michelle, good evening.
Good evening.
Joe is like, I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this just because Joe's on the line, because if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't say it, and I'd start asking him questions. Joe is one of those lawyers who have high intellect and high common sense. I find
which is a rare commodity.
I find, and just in humanity, that there's an inverse relationship between the two. especially when you go to law school, you find that out. But Joe's got both, and he was like, we had a case before, and Joe was like the moderating influence. He was the level-headed guy who said, this is what we need to do. And he was very, very, very thoughtful. And so, Joe, thank you for joining us. Just tell us, first of all, you're the president, owner of MAPS Mediation Firm. Is that correct?
Right. Right, and Max is a mediation firm. We have about 50 professional mediators in Metairie and Baton Rouge and the North Shore. And we mediate cases there and by Zoom and by phone. And so these mediators we have are experienced attorneys, retired judges. They know homeowners insurance. They know the pitfalls and the stumbling blocks, and they know how to settle cases, Doug.
Now, just tell us briefly. We tried to explain with the dynamics of mediation on how they could bring a insurance company and a disaffected policyholder to the table, and how do they work to sort of bridge the gap if there's some type of difference between the two, or there is a difference between the two.
Yeah, and this program that the commissioner, Jim Donovan, set up is geared to residential claims that are valued at up to $50,000, okay? And there are a lot of disputes. I'm hearing stories every day about disagreements about valuations or what's covered and deductibles and so forth. Mediators are skilled at helping the parties find a solution that's a win-win for everyone. And we do it by talking it through and dealing with the difficulties, dealing with the legal issues, dealing with the factual issues. And through that conversation, in a deliberate and skilled process, we can bring parties who are in a conflict to resolution. Now,
tell us a little bit about the program that Commissioner Donlin has implemented and how it works.
All right, and I'm excited about it, and I know you're familiar with it. I do think it's going to result in the settlement of thousands of claims that need to be settled now. And I'll say at the front end, I cannot commend Commissioner Donlin enough. I mean, I heard him the day after the storm, and practically every day since then, out in front, proactive, giving information to policyholders, providing guidance to insurance companies. And the impetus of the program, the goal of the program, is to settle claims that need to be settled now, okay? I saw a photograph the other day, a guy sleeping in his tent in his backyard in La Paz. You know, that homeowner needs his claim resolved, not a year from now, not 2 years from now, but today. And this process that the commissioner set up can help accomplish that, okay? So it works like this. It's very simple. The insurance company initiates the mediation. So a policyholder can contact the insurance company. They have a dispute. They can't agree. The policyholder, the homeowner, contacts their carrier and says, I want to mediate. The insurance company contacts us, and within several days, practically immediately, we have both parties engaged. We set a date for them to come in, either in person to one of the offices or by Zoom or even by phone if necessary. And we'll get that claim resolved.
Now, I guess for the policyholder homeowner, what is the interaction that the mediator would have with the insurance company to maybe get them off their position of denial or non-payment? What was the mediator actually do to have, you know, with their interaction with the insurance company in this process?
So let me say first that the mediator is impartial, okay? We don't favor one party over the other. We don't work for one party or the other. We're working for everyone, and our job is to get the claim settled, okay? And we're totally objective. So you have a neutral third party, the mediator, bringing a set of fresh eyes to the problem. And we talk a lot about what the alternative is to settlement. And the alternative is litigation. We call it takes forever and costs a fortune, and you leave the outcome to someone else, either a judge or a jury, and you have no control over that. And insurance companies realize, particularly with this program that the commissioner has set up, the insurance companies have an opportunity to avoid never-ending litigation. And they understand that the cost associated with that. And I think that most carriers outstanding and you have high volumes after a catastrophe like this. But at the end of the day, by talking about the risk of the alternative litigation, we're looking with a pair of fresh eyes at the documents, at the estimates, at the adjuster's notes and so on, at expert reports. We can sort of nudge everyone into a settlement range that's fair for everyone. And folks, we satisfied on both sides of the aisle. You know, that's the goal. That's the only way the case settles, or the claim settles, is if it's fair to everyone.
Let me ask a question. At what point, Joe, would the insurer call the insurance company? Because I know you would need documents. They'd have to have their own appraisal. So at what point in the claim?
So it depends on what's in dispute. After Katrina, claims began mediation right after the first of the year. And we have folks now who are lining up dates to mediate Ida claims. So it depends on the nature of the loss and where they are in the process. But from my perspective, the sooner the better, because insurance companies need claims resolved that can be resolved quickly. Policyholders, homeowners, renters need money in their pocket pursuant to the coverage they bought. And they bought coverage and they expect the claim to be adjusted properly so that they can rebuild and repair, right, and get their lives back to normal. So as soon as the policyholder has the adjuster's estimate of the loss, and they may have contrary estimates from a contractor, for example, or a roofing expert who says this roof doesn't need to be repaired, it needs to be replaced, those types of things. We do need policyholders to come in with documentation, you know. And I'll mention too, it's important, this program, either inside this program or in outside of the program, policyholders can be represented by attorneys. So this program is for both homeowners who have lawyers and homeowners who are just representing themselves.
All right, Joe, we're going to continue the thought. We got to go to a break. We got Joe Hassinger. What is your title? What do they call you? They call you King, President, Sir? What do they call you over at MAPS?
They just call me, hey, they call me the Managing Director.
Managing Director. There you go. Managing Director of MAPS. And he's going to tell us more about the mediation program that was just put in by Commissioner Jim Donnellan. We'll be right back on the Ida Recovery Connection right after this brief timeout.
I guess I was trying to get him to say,
yes, that's what I'm going to follow up on.
You can't just get mad and say, I mean, you have to have your proof. And so do they give, if somebody's coming in there unrepresented, do they give them a list of like, they ask like, have you gotten your own appraisal yet?
Well, why don't you follow up saying, what do you recommend the policyholders do to prepare for mediation?
And then what, another question, but I don't know, I haven't read what the, because you're saying like Donnellan set this up, but the insurance companies aren't required.
Oh, that's my next question. I got that one.
Okay.
What to do if the insurance companies don't want to participate?
Yeah, because I don't really understand. I mean,
He said complain to the insurance company.
I know, but Donnellan can't force this, so it's a program.
But he can pressure.
When you say Donnellan made this program, what does that mean?
He came up with he's paying them.
So Donnellan's paying the mediation?
Well, the insurance, he got the insurance companies to agree to pay the mediation costs. And he facilitated it. And so he did the bones to it. As opposed to sitting on his hands and doing nothing.
So the insurance companies have already agreed to do it?
Yes, he negotiated. He negotiated with the mediation firms and insurance companies to put this framework that they can utilize.
So have they already committed to doing it?
Yeah, some have. You can ask that.
Okay.
So you go first with asking about What is your recommendation for a homeowner to do in order to be prepared for the mediation? And then I got a question on that.
Okay.
You have a really unique engagement ring?
Are you having a hard time finding a wedding band that matches it? Come to Ramsey's Diamond Jewelry, the largest diamond store in Louisiana. You just love simple. Ramsey's can make a custom wedding band that fits alongside your engagement ring perfectly.
No matter how unusual your engagement ring is.
It will look like it was made for it, because it was.
The sky is the limit when you come to the largest diamond store in Louisiana.
Dad, I think Aunt Lori likes saying that too. You're gonna find the perfect engagement ring at Ramsey's.
And you're going to find the perfect wedding band, too.
Engagement rings and wedding bands are what we do. And big anniversary diamonds.
Welcome to Ramsey's.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers, the largest diamond store in Louisiana, on junctions between Barnable and West End in Metairie.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 23rd. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your family medicine cabinet of unused and expired prescription drugs. Keep them safe. Clean them
Hey, I
out.
think also talking about like the situation that our client's in now, because he's not the only person who's trying to sell a house. Does that make sense? And if you wanted to sell a house as is rather than fix
Let's
it
talk
up.
about talk about that after to Joe. Yeah.
And ordered 4 to 5 times more material than Cat 4 Hurricane Michael in Panama City and Cat 4 Hurricane.
You ever heard from Albert?
Huh?
You ever heard from Albert Silver?
We know Cat 4
No,
Hurricane
hadn't heard from
handles their
him.
case better than anyone. No one
I got time in your time, so when you run off the bill, you can
It already went out. I don't know.
for September.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think I talked to him in September, not October.
No, your time was on
Yeah,
in
okay.
September. Yeah.
So just
The letter and all that.
A proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual support of college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, providing countless opportunities for young people. Resources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 and the SEC in the Superdome on New Year's Day 2022.
Hey, non-lawyer spokesperson. Business and homeowners, if you feel you were underpaid by your insurance company after Hurricane Ida, legal help is available. Call Gligo Williams Attorneys at Law today. Call 504-500-2020. Responsible attorney Mark Gligo, office in New Orleans.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety.
There's Lou.
Everyone's
I
on
saw
it.
that
You're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky.
Mars Bart's doing Ida
Huh?
claims. I saw Mars Bart's doing Ida claims.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Only costs you about $200 a month. Call Term Providers.
They charge 40%, 33%.
568-2790. Big
No.
Blue will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790. 800-568-2790.
Navient tankless water.
Go live after you.
Okay.
Technology. Request a Navient because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navient's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navient contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection, from the station you turn to when it counts. WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Open Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection. We got Joe Hassinger, Managing Director. King, sir, Mr.
We
Mr.
also
Joe.
have.
I said half?
No,
What did I say?
got.
Yeah, I said it again.
Yeah.
It's my Bucktown accent.
Oh, well.
Oh, Coach Marion Bernard gets upset with me when I refer to my Bucktown background in my unpronouncing of words. Got Joe Hassinger here, who is managing director for MAPS mediation firm. And Joe, we're going to keep you for the rest of the hour. So tell your wife you won't be able to watch The Voice with her tonight, or The Bachelorette, or whatever. Okay. So okay. Succession, okay. You're gonna have to You got the TiVo it or whatever. Tape it. Michelle's got a question for you.
Yeah. So, Joe, if a homeowner is not represented by an attorney, what should they do to prepare for the mediation?
So, first of all, contact your insurance company and request mediation. This is a voluntary program, okay? So insurers are not compelled to participate. They don't have to if they don't want to. I think the smartest ones will be eager to participate. So if you're a homeowner, you have a dispute with the carrier, they want to pay you an amount of money that you think is not correct, ask them to set the matter for mediation. And we're going to set a date for you to come in to either our office or on a Zoom video conference call with the carrier and bring your documentation. You probably do not have a copy of the policy. That's understandable. You may have your, what we call the deck sheet, the declarations page from the policy. Bring that. Bring receipts of expenses you've incurred, things you've paid for since the storm, repairs, alternative living expenses, food costs, etc. And bring estimates. If you have an estimate for the replacement of your fence, like I now have, or replacement of a roof, or water intrusion, etc., bring that. If you have receipts for repairs that have been done to your home, bring that. Bring it all, so that we have the information that we need. Because here's the goal. Policyholder comes in, or we do it by Zoom, the carrier's here, and we get the claim settled today. Okay? Not a month from now, not we'll get together again 6 months from now. No. We have one meeting, and we get the claim resolved, period. That's the goal. So that's the plan. And I mentioned Zoom several times because we did have some questions over the last couple of days from policyholders calling in saying, hey, I've relocated out of state temporarily. I can't come to Metairie or to Baton Rouge or to Mandeville. Or I'm in Lower Jefferson. I'm dealing with the problems on the ground. I can't take a day from that and go to a mediation in Metairie. We have Zoom. And during the course of COVID, we conducted probably close to 1,000 mediations by Zoom. It works. It's effective. It's easy. And it's a great tool to help people who are who can't get here physically to the office to attend the mediation and get the claim resolved. So Zoom is a viable option.
I have a question now. If a homeowner is having resistance to their claims adjuster and participating in this program, do you have any advice to help maybe facilitate the or to deal with the resistance?
Yeah. So over the last couple of days, and I'll take it one step back from that even. Over the last couple of days, we've had many calls from homeowners saying, I want to mediate. I can't get my adjuster on the phone. I can't get in touch with my carrier. I've left messages, or the phone rings, or the mailbox is full, or whatever. What we're telling folks is, since the process has to be initiated by the insurance company, if you cannot get your insurance company on the phone, you cannot make contact with them, the insurance commissioner has a process for that. And the Department of Insurance has a complaint system. Those folks are highly skilled at resolving issues like that. So we're directing folks to the insurance commissioner's complaint line. There's a phone number, and they have an excellent website where how to file a complaint. You click on that on the home page. So I would tell the carriers, if we have carrier representatives listening, a lot of the disputes, a lot of the headaches, a lot of the heartache can be resolved with more communication, and I know, we're dealing with tens of thousands of claims. I know carriers are probably short-handed. I know there's a lot going on and so on and so forth, but answer the call, return the call, communicate with the insured, and that would go a long way toward helping folks out who really need a hand in a most difficult time.
Michelle's got a text that she wants that's directed to you, Joe.
Sure. It says if the policyholder is not happy with the result of mediation, can he still file suit against the insurance company?
Yes. So the outcome of the mediation is either a settlement or no settlement. Okay, I can tell you, for example, we're mediating many, many, many Hurricane Laura claims right now. Our success rate, meaning the percentage of claims that resolve, that settle at mediation, is, last time I checked, I think it was 96.4%. So the odds of settlement through the mediation process is extremely effective. However, the outcome, the proposed solution, is voluntary. It cannot be imposed on you. So if we negotiate to a number and the policyholder thinks it's a fair number, the insurance company thinks it's fair, the claim settles. If either side thinks that it's not a fair amount, then there is no settlement and the parties can proceed to litigation.
All right. Well, Joe, we got to go to another break. We're gonna, if you can hold over and apologize to your wife that she's got to watch The Succession. What is that on? Is that on Netflix?
I think it's Netflix. I just started watching
I've heard of it.
We were watching it last night. It's really good.
Well, Joe wouldn't watch junk. I know that. He's not your typical Bachelorette, The Voice, the Masked Singer type of viewer. He's got too much intellect for that. So just apologize. You like The Voice? There you go. Well, maybe I don't know everything about you, Joe. There. All right, let's go to a break. This is Doug Sinceri with Michelle Demers, Sinceri Ida Recovery Connection, with Joe Hassinger, Managing Director of BAPS, talking about the new mediation program for the Hurricane Ida claims, which gives light, a little light in the tunnel there. So we'll be right back after this brief time out.
I know. Want a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policy you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call.
He's still not giving the intro. I want him to tell people that until you've gotten your own estimate, you need not. You know what I mean? That's why I was talking about it.
As soon as possible, but don't come premature.
Well, yeah, because some people don't go get, like the guy I was talking to today, he's a smart guy. He's like, I need to go get my own appraisal.
Yeah. Say go as soon as you can, but don't be premature.
Yeah, well, I think, I was wishing he would say at the time to do it is when the insurance company's given their estimate. Your people have given what they think it's going to cost.
No, I know what they ask. It's not based on.
Right. And I don't know this question. Do you only have 6 months to get the recoverable depreciation?
Well, that's what it says in the that's what it says in the policy, but then that's not. Courts won't enforce it. The insurance commission won't enforce it.
So it's asking for an extension usual?
You can ask for extension, or you just ask for it. And if they don't, they usually cut it loose in the settlement. But they'll generally. They will.
Well, if the damage is minimal, that's what I'm a little. If the damage is minimal, then how are they getting even money?
Well, like let's say if you got 10,000 damage and you got 4,000 recoverable depreciation.
Well, say you have 10,000 damage, but your deductible's 4.
Right. So you might only get a couple thousand. That $2,000 limit is not generally enforceable by the courts.
What's a $2,000?
I mean, not 2,000. The 6 month. If you get it done, they'll cut it loose. It's not hard and fast.
Hi, I'm Ellen Pompeo, and I would
because it also says you have to file proof of loss within 180 days in most policies.
That I find interesting anything,
that's
come on
preempted by the
and tell me their story.
prescription statute.
That's where Tell Me comes from. Listen and
When
follow
the
Tell Me,
policy
a
says it.
podcast presentation of pages 13. With me,
Does you have to file proof of loss? I didn't know you had to file proof of loss.
Well, I mean, it
and
doesn't.
wherever you get your podcast.
The law says you just got to file your claim within lawsuit.
Hey y'all, fall's here and you're ready to celebrate. Here's what's happening around the state. October 20th and 24th, Washington Fair and Free Fair in Franklin. October 23rd, annual Sweet Dough Pie Festival in Cranston. Acadia Music Fest in Thibodeau. NOLA River City has 5 minutes.
Okay.
24th, Platoon Walk.
Can you ask Joe if he'd stay through the news? Huh? He can. Go.
You're gonna have him stay past the top of the hour?
Huh?
You're gonna have him stay past the top of the hour?
Yeah, because I think I might have him for a segment after that.
No, that's great. We have no calls. That's why I'm kind of thinking people are kind of over it.
Well, that's not a true determinant. Yeah. I'm sorry. What's that?
It's affirmative.
Affirmative. Good. Okay. He will stay. Good. Okay. We'll probably yes. I got you.
Here's a question.
We'll just tell him we'll keep him one segment. We're not going to keep him all night.
Here's another question.
All right.
I understand mediation is available for claims of $50,000 or less. I understand mediation is available for claims of $50,000 or less. If the claim is $75,000, the insurance company has paid or agreed to pay $50,000, and the amount in dispute for mediation is $25,000. Does that situation qualify for mediation?
Okay, that's a good question. All right. Let me.
Serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now. Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you're on gas. Use promo code PAUL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next
That's what you do. How'd you get
cash
out?
out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code PAUL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PAUL.
It's continuing coverage of the Ida Recovery on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Reach attorney Doug Sinceri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line. 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demmer-Sinceri, and Ida Recovery Connection with Joe Hassinger, the managing director for MAPS, talking about the new mediation program for Hurricane Ida claims. Joe, one of the prime type of claims that would be very useful for the mediation program is I had a call, somebody called today at the office, and they said, look, I just have a roof issue. And I really don't want to hire a public adjuster. I don't want to hire an attorney because if I hire that, the process would eat up any money that's in dispute. And it's basically a roof that's $17,000, $18,000. Insurance company said they need to be patched, and there's a deductible. So you really only have about $10,000 in play. Those are ideal type of situations. And he was thinking, I'm just going to throw my hands up and just forget about it because it's just too much trouble. But a situation like this would be ideal for your for the mediation program that's MAPS is participating in.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think a program like this is the perfect solution for that. Again, you can't go out and hire experts and so on. It's going to be too expensive and perhaps hard to find, someone who can help a homeowner with that type of claim at that dollar value. But throwing your hands up, that's not an acceptable solution either because homeowners have coverage and they need to understand the insurance company's position. I mean, why is it that they're taking the position they're taking? Come in and let's talk about it, and we'll walk through the numbers and see if a solution can be had that meets everybody's needs. And that's the perfect type of claim for this. There are going to be thousands, probably tens of thousands of claims that end up in litigation. Big commercial claims, big residential claims, bad faith claims, etc. Those are going to court, and we'll deal with those next year and the year after that. What we're trying to do with this program is deal with claims exactly like the one you described, Doug. homeowners need help. Carriers want to resolve claims with their insureds and avoid litigation. Mediation is the process that works. And what we do as the mediator, again, we're impartial. Okay, we don't favor one party or the other. We help both parties identify solutions that may not be readily apparent. We help the parties find solutions that they think don't exist. So every day we settle cases that the parties at the start of the process think can never be settled.
Right.
There's too much of a disagreement, and we do it every day.
Now, Joe, Joe's agreed to stay through the break because he drove a hard bargain to stay after the break. He said he wanted to be paid double for staying part of the next hour. So that is done. So consider it done, man. We got a deal, man. He just got me hanging, meeting in the minds. But he's going to stay for another segment after national news and local news. We have some text. We have additional questions that callers, listeners are interested in. So we'll hit Joe with that. So we'll be back with the Ida Recovery Connection, Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demerson-Seri, Joe Hassinger, Managing Director of MAPS. Stay tuned for the national news, local news. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you then.
You got some kind of pissed off client. As a so-called pro law firm, make sure you tell people that you don't even call your clients trying to get new clients. Make sure you don't care for clients. What does that mean?
Pro law firm, make sure you tell you don't even call clients trying to get new clients. Make sure you don't care clients. What is that?
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. In Chicago, investigators find
So
suspected human remains during a search for Brian Laundrie in a park in Sarasota County, Florida. They've also found a backpack and a notebook belonging to Laundrie, a person of
Already
interest.
pissed off you didn't call back.
Petito's murder.
What's his number?
WINK-TV's Danielle Garcia outside the Laundrie family home.
Everyone here is wondering what was written inside that notebook and hoping that maybe somehow it can give answers to law enforcement. A lot of neighbors here
9809 is the last
maybe
one.
Somehow Brian Laundrie is still alive out there because they fear that he is the only person that really knows what happened to Danny Petito.
The mix and match
259
boosters
Put that
in my phone. See if I already have it.
The Food and Drug Administration is okay with the booster shots from Moderna or Johnson & Johnson. And not only that, but with the idea of perhaps mixing one of the original vaccines with one of the others as a booster.
The FDA has determined that the
James David Kennedy. Oh, I know who it is.
Who is it?
Of available vaccines outweigh the known.
I know who it is. No, he's full. He's never called me.
Dr. Peter Marks also says evidence suggests lowering the eligible age for
Who needs
boosters
to make sense.
Nicholas Cruz, who confessed to the 2018 massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, pleads guilty to all 34 charges of murder and attempted murder. One
He didn't like my bill.
parent says of Cruz,
The person
Who are you
you saw
doing
here
for?
today
I knew
chose
somebody.
to take his life, and he does not deserve
What,
life in prison.
What were
Life
you
in
doing for
prison
him?
is a life.
Succession.
And he
Oh, you
deserves
still doing it?
nothing more
No, I'm gonna
than
withdraw.
the death penalty.
He's in the air.
returned
I
to
got
his
him an
birthplace in Scranton,
$90,000
Pennsylvania
payment. He
today to
didn't like
push
the
for his
bill.
Build Back Better infrastructure packages. He says both bills will help workers,
make
families, and the environment.
Appointment.
People working good job, prevailing wages, capping hundreds of thousands of abandoned wells in southeastern Pennsylvania and in Ohio. Get the same salary that you pay the mine worker to dig the well.
Scientists in New York are reporting a breakthrough in organ transplantation. CBS chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaCook.
It's a first. Researchers at NYU Langone
I'm not doing it, but I'm not getting arguments. I'm not doing it.
it.
I'm gonna get there and get him to fire me.
You don't do what?
From a genetically
He wants me. He don't want to pay all his money. Or
human body would not
Tell him
reject the pig organ.
Netflix employees at an office in LA walked out of work
Thompson.
today to protest comedian Dave Chappelle's special and anti-transgender comments in it. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos, who said that content on screen doesn't directly translate to real-world
Let's see,
harm, later told the Wall Street Journal that he failed to recognize that a group of employees was really hurting. This
Please make an
is
appointment
CBS
with
News.
James Kennedy next week.
News Hours newscast is presented by
Stop.
Rocket Mortgage. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can.
Hundreds of
I
thousands
knew I had a
of
feeling it
people
was
said
coming.
goodbye to
Because
their
I return all
overpriced
calls.
Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile plans and switched to Pure Talk.
on the same great 5G coverage as one of those carriers. Get unlimited
It's just going to be one of those things.
and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month.
Get out
The average family is saving over $800 a year. Just dial pound 250 and say Jill 50 to save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250. Say Jill 50.
Do you like cleaning products that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Concentrated all-purpose Simple Green is the answer for versatile cleaning throughout your home and garage. I'm so
Don't you hate when
certain
people are so
love
like
Simple
that?
Green.
It's so rude.
If you're
Don't
not
you?
100%
I hate when
satisfied,
people are
I'll
like
give you
that.
your
It's
money
so
back.
rude.
To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
It's kind of thing he does. He wants to fight over things. It's like paying for. I'll fight over it, but the cost. What are you fighting over? Like grass cutting for co-owned property and stuff like that. Like, all right, you want me to fight for it, but if you lose, you're gonna pay for it.
Right.
Cold front trying to move through, perhaps knocking our temperatures and humidity down a bit for late Friday and into Saturday. Looking at most of our rain and into this evening and tonight, and about a 40% chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms on Thursday.
WWL TV chief meteorologist Chris Frank.
All right, well, we're gonna ask. You got a text. You gonna read the text? Don't read James' text. Doug Early, I sent your question via Facebook message.
Doug Early, I sent you a
Yeah, I saw
question
that.
for today. Did you read it?
Yeah, I know. He's talking about this one.
The numbers and found the state is still paying out more in benefits than it's collecting in revenue from the trust fund.
It looks like, based on the report, you have a burn rate of about $6 million per week. At that rate, we could potentially be back to zero.
Did you answer it?
No, I just saw it. I hadn't had time. I'm gonna answer it. When we get Joe.
What about this recoverable depreciation?
I'm gonna answer that.
After Joe gets on.
Yeah.
Weekly new cases of COVID in Louisiana are the lowest they've been since mid-April. The most recent data from the Louisiana Department of Health shows only 2.7% of COVID tests having positive results from the week of October 7th through the 13th. Testing volume is still at a high levels, higher than before the start of the fourth surge. LDH reports 502 new cases today and 380 COVID patients in the hospital. Another 36 patients have passed. As Meyer, a man accused in the multiple parish shooting spree that killed two, including the Louisiana State Trooper, has been relocated to Angola State Prison as he awaits trial. Ascension Parish Sheriff Bobby Weber says the transfer was for Meyer's own safety. Voters in a handful of parishes in southeast Louisiana need to check ahead before they cast their ballots on November 13th due to site changes because of Ida.
Secretary of State Kyle Ardwin says
They're going to figure out a way to steal the midterms too.
It's too much of a wave.
We're putting the notices out. We're sending letters to voters.
you can also check the Go Vote app for updates or call the registrar's office where you are registered and ask for an absentee ballot if you are displaced. Ardwin says there are some important measures on the ballot, like 4 constitutional amendments.
Some areas have local issues, propositions, tax renewal.
Brooke Thorrington, WWL First News.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
The mugginess is back. You can definitely feel the
Mugginess, baby. I don't want mugginess. I want it to be cool.
It was definitely a more humid day, and we've been steadily warming up and turning more humid throughout the afternoon. Humidity is back.
Okay, so you gonna read the text.
The result of that is a spotty to scattered showers. Wind coverage has been around 40% today, so not everyone saw the rainfall, but a few isolated downpours here and there, and maybe a repeat during the day on Thursday. Most of our rain this evening and tonight, though, coming to an end. Thursday, much of the same. Highs in the mid-80s, muggy with some spotty to scattered showers.
What happened?
Models indicating
It was a mosquito.
cold front moving through from Friday. Don't expect much from it. Perhaps a slight drop in humidity as we head into Friday night and the start of the weekend. Warm, muggy, though, will continue through Sunday with some spotty showers and storms. And we'll stay warm and humid through next week, looking mostly dry to start the week, and then a wet day on Wednesday as a cold front starts to approach and likely cooling down by the end of next week, and hopefully that means a cooler Halloween. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL-TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. Louisiana's official emergency management station. This is Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Doug Sinceri. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, we're back. Beaming back from suburban Manville. Suburban God's country. Oh, what a wonderful place to live. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri, and Ida Recovery Connection on WWL, AMFM.com. We're on till 10 o'clock. Also, we'll be All Things Legal with Albert Nico. We'll be on from 8 to 10 on Sunday. Last Sunday, we had 5 callers waiting for us before we even got on the phone. I couldn't even talk about the LSU game. I was just bummed. At least when I have 5 or 10 minutes. But I didn't have a chance to do it. Yeah, I mean, people didn't want. I mean, when they usually call about 8:30, so I get to talk about LSU football and give my analysis by armchair Sunday morning ex-agent lawyer, and then but apparently they didn't want me to talk about it, so they all called early. So you can call us, and also too, if you want to ask Albert about his football career at St. Paul in 1979. He didn't go to the Archie Manning Passing Academy.
No, I know that.
He went to the Guido Merkins Passing Academy, and that just didn't. 3rd and 27, they're still running the ball. All right, we got Joe Hassinger, Managing Director of MAPS Mediation Firm. We're talking about a new program for mediating IDA claims, and I think it's a little light in the tunnel for homeowners because I think they feel a high degree of frustration, helplessness.
It's light at the end of the tunnel.
What did I say?
It's light in the tunnel.
You see the light in the tunnel.
No,
you're in the tunnel when you see it at the end.
It's at the end of the tunnel.
I did it again.
You did it again.
See, the problem is I listened to Buddy Diliberto and Hap Glaude growing up, and I have adopted some of their habits. So that's,
Is he the king of malaprops?
Yes, he is. And I carry on the tradition. And Joe is telling us about the mediation program. And, I think it's great. It's a great venue to resolve these disputes. And Joe, you were saying it's very important, to maybe do it as soon as you can, but there's a distinction in doing it as soon as you can and not premature. Now, in court, in litigation, when you're in this type of scenario, you'll have a lot of people who have never been through this process before. And one of the things they can't do is come into a mediation and bring speculation, supposition, and possibilities. They have to bring the meat. They have to bring it in these mediations in order to, stake their claim. Is that, I want you to get the comment on that.
So, no, and you make a good point, Doug. So, again, we want to be able to settle the claim that day, the day of the mediation. So a homeowner has to come in with the documents that substantiate their position. So they have to come in order to make take a justified position, have the backup with you, so it does nobody any good. So to come in and just argue with the insurance company because the insurance company has, an adjuster, somebody who has experience, maybe others who have looked at the property and come to a conclusion. The homeowner will disagree with that, but there has to be some backup, an estimate, a contrary estimate, a contradictory estimate from a roofer, for example, since we were talking about roofs, an opinion, a written opinion from the roofer saying, I looked at it, or another adjuster saying, I looked at the roof. You can't replace 60% of it. You have to replace the whole thing. So come prepared and come with the mindset and the expectation to compromise. So everyone at the table will be expected to compromise. That's the only way we're going to resolve the dispute, right?
Yeah. And Michelle, you got a text that
we do have a text. Let me open this back up. All right, so Joe, here's one for you. It says, I understand mediation is available for claims of $50,000 or less. If the claim is $75,000, the insurance company has paid or agreed to pay $50,000, and the amount in dispute for mediation is $25,000. Does that situation qualify for mediation?
So mediate claims, in the hurricane context that are worth $10,000. The entire claim is $10,000. We mediate claims that are millions of dollars. So regardless of whether the insurance company paid 50 and the homeowner demands 75, or the homeowner demands 75 and the insurance company has refused to pay anything, the case is appropriate for mediation. And you made me think of one other point, because most people coming into the mediation, most homeowners have never been through the process before.
Right.
And so maybe I can make a couple of comments.
Yes,
about
absolutely.
The process.
Absolutely.
So I'm at MAPS right now. Okay. The MAPS is we're in Lakeway 2. We have 17 conference rooms. Okay, it's an office. Doug's been here many times. So it's a very informal, relaxed, comfortable setting. Okay, it's not, mediation does not occur in a courtroom. There is no judge, there is no bailiff, there is no jury. It's not formal like that. Folks come here and it's a relaxed setting because the purpose is to come to an agreement. So even if you have a lawyer, great. Your lawyer is an expert. He or she knows how to drive the case resolution and mediation. They will set it up. They will lead you. They will guide you, and that's what lawyers do. If you don't have a lawyer, feel comfortable. Rest assured, knowing that if you go through the mediation process, here's the good news: only good things can happen. Okay, nothing bad can happen to your claim. You will not be intimidated or bullied. You will not be disrespected. You will be heard, and you will have an opportunity to present your side of the conflict. And nothing bad can happen to your claim. Only good things can happen. So be comfortable, be relaxed, and just know that coming in.
Now, I know also, too, I want to point out this out. It's very, very important in MAPS.
I knew you were going to say it.
You knew it.
Beat me to it.
If you go around lunch,
they
have the best. No, well, that's after lunch. They have the best catered food, and they usually have a hot catered, like crawfish etouffee, or some kind of like jambalaya, right? And then they have sandwiches, and then they have a refrigerator with every type of granola snack you could ever imagine. So if you go in person, now that's one thing. If it's a relaxed atmosphere, and if you're not there with your lawyer, you can just go in the kitchen and eat all you want. That's okay with you guys, right?
That's right.
And then at 2:00, the freshly made chocolate chip cookies come out. So there.
You always tried to have the afternoon, huh?
Well,
right.
Well, as I was saying last night, I did probably about 200-300 with Joe Russo in a 4-month period at MAPS. And I think I put on about 25 pounds during that time period.
It's terrible.
It's
the cookies and the chips and the snacks and the sandwiches and the good food. It's like, we do have diet drinks, though.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense to have a diet drink with a 400 calorie chocolate chip cookie. Let me ask you another question too, as far as if a homeowner doesn't have an attorney, can they bring their roofer and contractor or someone who's an advocate on the damage side with them to help discuss the claim?
That's a great question. Absolutely. So if you do not have a lawyer, you can bring your roofer, you can bring your contractor, you can bring your spouse, you can bring your best friend, you can bring your brother or your sister. Lots of people, come into mediations every day, and the same is true in the hurricane context. They bring someone with them, a reliable person, a confidant, someone that they can bounce things off of, and that's important. And even if even if that person you bring is not an advisor, let's say, but there's someone you feel comfortable with, you want to bring your next door neighbor or your friend just because, so you can have someone with you. That's great. You know, we can accommodate that. And I will mention one thing though, with respect to that. So everything that happens in mediation is confidential.
It's like Las Vegas,
So
right?
everyone, yeah.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yes.
But everyone that is in mediation is bound by that confidentiality. So, and we want it to be confidential so that we can have frank, honest discussions without the risk that someone's going to try to use what court of law.
Okay, Joe, we'd like to keep you for one more segment, and we'll promise we'll let you go. And so
You're gonna pay more?
Yeah, we're gonna get triple now, three times as much as you're getting before. So we're gonna take a break, and thanks, Joe, for staying with one more segment. This is Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection on WWL-AM-FM.com. We'll be right back with Joe Hassinger, Managing Director of MAPS, right after this brief timeout. Okay.
Here's a question. I'm fairly certain that the mediation program set up by Donald's claim is. Here's the text. I'm fairly certain that the mediation program set up by Donald is limited to claims of $50,000. Yeah. But you can still mediate it.
Yeah. They may agree to do it notwithstanding.
Mm-hmm. And then how do they get paid?
Okay, that's good.
How do they get paid?
I'll let Joe answer that. Well, the homeowner doesn't have to pay for the mediation.
Eventually, I mean, it's going to come out of their claim.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they don't have to pay anything up front.
But if you think it's free, if you think it's free or it's not being somehow charged to the homeowner in the back end, and you're smoking rope.
Yeah, well, they look at it a different way. Sometimes they look at it, we save money.
Paint, gel coat, carpentry, mechanical, or electrical repairs, we do it all. We also build custom parts and do we're located near the ICW, which makes us accessible from anywhere along the Gulf Coast. And now, party boat rentals. What better way to do it than our 24-foot pontoon boat? It's available for half and full day rentals.
Where's that girl?
One more reason for us to say, boating made easy.
Seabrook Marina on France Road on the Industrial Canal, just a half mile.
Delilah!
And online at SeabrookHarborMarine.com. When our saints hit the field, they're prepared.
She doesn't love me.
They get a playbook. What's your retirement playbook? Whether you're already retired or closing in on retirement, the retirement playbook can help you get ready.
She really didn't put me all day today.
Right now, visit saintsretirementplaybook.com. That's saintsretirementplaybook.com. Brought to you by Presley Wealth Management, the official wealth management partner of the New Orleans Saints.
There she is. Hey, girl. Hello.
Opening on Thursday, October 21st. Book your reservation today and enjoy all of your favorites. The flavorful Spinell's ribeye, chicken manicotti, crab cakes, all of the Italian classics. Don't forget and wine not Wednesdays with half-price bottles of selected. Call today to make your reservation at Rosito's Restaurant Arcade and Chop House, corner of 4 and Harrison. Patio dining available. Call 300-1804 or visit us at rositosrestaurante.com.
At Mike Burner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't keep regular business hours, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck after 5 p.m., don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you.
Look, if you want to part ways, I am more than glad to do so. If you want me to be your attorney, I'm more than glad to do so. But I'm not going to listen to a bunch of complaining and unnecessary griping.
He's texting you?
Yeah.
5 years, 0 interest financing at Diamonds Direct. But time is running out. You have until this Saturday to take advantage of this amazing offer. How about a $10,000 engagement ring for just $167 a month? Everything's included, plus a portion of proceeds from every purchase will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. This is the last week to take advantage of this offer. 5 years, 0 interest financing through Saturday only, and only at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue. Here's one box that you'd run back if you were alive after this.
Okay.
It's the box filled with your videotaped
sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako, and I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we can help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires. And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics. Digitizing your old media stops fading. And preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic converting your shoebox of memories into digital files ready to watch and share. It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great. Visit legacybox.com/value to save 40%. That's legacybox.com/value to get started and save. legacybox.com/value.
Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sinceri on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection with Joe Hassinger. You know, I used the Trojan horse protocol on Joe because I said, you know, I'm just going to have you on for 1 or 2 segments. Now, 5 segments later, we're still here.
That's good. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here and glad to answer any questions you might have.
Now, you said a great point early in mediation is that nothing bad can happen to you. And even a failure in a mediation could be a success. And maybe you can comment on that before Michelle's going to ask you for a couple of texts. Let's say at the time you break from mediation, the insurance company was offering $15,000 and the policy was holding at $35,000. Even though you may leave in those parameters, you know, the policyholder may get a call a week, 2 weeks, a month later and say, let's split the difference and let's put this to bed. I mean, that often happens even in a failed mediation. And if you could comment on that.
Yeah, so we like to say once the mediation has started, nothing is the same. So a half an hour into the mediation, nothing is the same. Everything has changed. So to your point, if we can't settle it in 90 minutes, we know, everyone knows, that the case is on the verge of settlement in all likelihood. Okay, and with a little bit more time and a little nudge, the case is going to settle. So nothing is the same. And the parties are never further apart. They're never worse off at the end of the session than they were when they walked in, even if we can't settle it at that moment.
So that, you know, so in some ways it defines the parameters, as you said, and you're closer to where you were before. And then a lot of times both parties think on it for a week, a couple of weeks, a month. And sometimes they say, you know, a month later, they're like, you know, let's work this out. And so you wouldn't have gotten to that point or achieved that point if you didn't have those parameters that were initially set.
Yeah, and you know, like I told you before, with most recently with Hurricane Laura and Delta claims, right now, okay, with current experience, the resolution rate is close to 97%.
There you go.
So, you know, you can't get much closer than that.
No.
There you go.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. So I know that with Commissioner Donlan's program, it's limited to claims of $50,000 or less, correct?
Correct.
Okay. If there's a claim that's more than $50,000, that's you can still mediate it. You might not be under the program, the quote unquote mediation program, but claims can always be mediated as long as both parties consent
That's
to.
true. That's exactly right. So today, for example, at MAPS, we mediated probably between 15 and 20 Hurricane Laura claims of all sizes. So well in excess of $50,000. Those claims are mediated. We're going to do, you know, thousands of those claims in all likelihood because of the extent of damage with the storm.
Right. And is the $50,000 or less? There are 90-minute mediation sessions.
Right. So what the the insurance commissioner was really smart with this. He said, let me put together a program that will encourage folks to come in and get the claim settled promptly. Okay, so we'll set a time limit, and we're going to set a reduced rate and make it a fixed rate so that the insurance company, they're going to pay the bill, but they're receiving a reduced rate, and we're going to set a time limit, and we're going to set a dollar cap. So all of those things, to me, it's a brilliant way to try to resolve, relatively speaking, smaller dollar value claims and get those things settled so that they don't clog the judicial system, so that homeowners can put money in their pockets, so that insurance companies can avoid never-ending litigation. Everyone's better off for it.
And also, too, just for the homeowners and policyholders, they don't have to come out of pocket for this program. Is that correct?
That's right. There's no cost to the homeowner at all. So, and we'll pay for the parking if you do it here, and we'll buy you lunch.
Right. Well, that's the in-person incentive to that. Now, I think the homeowners, you sort of talked about the discussions you have with the homeowners as far as evaluating the claim, evaluating, what information they have, going through maybe the policy provisions and maybe some of the exclusions. Now, I think the homeowners would like to know, what do you do when the mediator is in the room with the insurance company and the insurance company has a mindset at that time where they don't want to pay or they think the damages are below the deductible? What kind of conversations would the mediator have with the insurance company?
So we have the conversations include things like, here's how the homeowner sees it. Let's talk about their perspective. Here's what they've brought to the table. This estimate from a roofer. Do you know that roofer? Yeah, he's been in business in New Orleans, or he's been in business in Jefferson Parish for 50 years. He's got a second location in Houma. Knows everyone, very reputable. He's a reliable guy, legit. Here's his estimate. Here's what he says needs to be done. Let's talk about that. Can you allow for the possibility that a judge or jury, if we have to go to litigation, is going to side with the homeowner? How do we avoid that? How do we show some compromise, some flexibility? Maybe the insurance company pays a bit more than they want to pay. Maybe the homeowner takes a little bit less than they'd like to take if it went to trial. That's why the name of the game is cooperation and compromise. And typically we can find a settlement value, a settlement range that everyone walks away from the table saying this is a good outcome.
Now, the interesting dynamics is if the advocate for the policyholder said the same thing to the same, I guess, substance of conversation with the insurance company, it would be less received. But it's different coming from a third party who doesn't have a, dog in the hunt, as they say. Could you explain that dynamics on how people see things differently when they hear it from a third party that is disinterested? Not disinterested, but as opposed to each other, two advocates trying to convince each other the same thing.
Yeah, and it's a totally different dynamic, and mediation is used in multi-billion-dollar deals. Mediation is used to resolve conflicts between countries, and the mediation is used to resolve conflicts between a homeowner and an insurance company. And when you have a third party who's neutral, has no interest in the outcome of the claim, is not an advocate for one side or the other, the mediator's working for everyone, there's a level of trust and a level of credibility and a level of steadiness and reliability that it makes it easier for people who are opposed to each other, your homeowner and insurance company, to say, okay, we're going to go with, we see your point, we hear you. A lot of it's communication and knowing that the mediator is impartial, straight down the middle.
Yeah. Now, when we had retired magistrate Jay Wilkerson on about 3 weeks ago, and we talked about Yeah, he 300,000 Katrina claims he presided over. Is he, we talked about there was really three buckets inside the mediation that you negotiated over. There was one bucket where it was pretty obvious this was hurricane damage. Then there was one bucket where you might have had some kind of dysfunction or damage to the house that wasn't hurricane related. And then you had this middle bucket that could go either way. In other words, you would have roof replace, repair. Sheetrock comes out, be painted over and kills. Floor clean versus coming out. That's the bucket you saw to me. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's sort of where there's compromise.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do as the mediator, we're identifying options, we're identifying choices, and we're looking for, and we'll identify. That's our job. We will identify where are the question marks. Where can people argue about something? Is that hurricane related or not? Where's the open questions? And that's where we can negotiate, because it's not one way or the other. It's
right.
Open to interpretation,
So, all right. Well, you will dismiss you now. I fooled you because I told you it's only going to be one or two segments, and 5 segments later you're still here. Yeah, you trusted me. So, if anybody has any questions regarding the mediation program and the protocols, what is the number over at MAPS, and who could they ask for to just get some more information?
So the number at MAPS is 504-831-2141, and we have multiple case managers who can assist. Let me point out, though, that homeowners cannot call to have
the mediation.
Call here to have the mediation process implemented. They have to go through their insurance company to trigger that process. Okay.
And also if they have a problem, if the insurance company is not engaged in or an inclination to be engaged in the mediation process, what do you recommend they do?
They should contact the Commissioner of Insurance's office, either by phone or through their website, and follow the process that the insurance commissioner has laid out there.
Yeah. And I think, Michelle and I were talking a little bit last night. We were like, we're just talking about roofs. We're talking about wet sheetrock. And it's sort of, not to say depressing, but it just seemed a little hopeless for some people. This program is really something that you could look to say, hey, there's this is something, a venue we can use to resolve our problems. And it's not going to involve maybe litigation, may not even hire an attorney or public adjuster, but just, getting your stuff together and maybe we can resolve it. And if you can't, then you maybe go to the next step, but at least you'll get a fair shot at it, right?
That's it, Doug. You said it perfectly. Once again.
It's a light in the tunnel.
Light in the tunnel.
I'm sorry.
You had to. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Stavler, Del Sal. You taught me better. Okay. Well, Joe, thanks so much. We'll stay in touch, and we wish you best of luck, and congratulations on your acquisition of MAPS, and you're doing a great job over there. And we look forward to working with you in the future. So thanks so much, and tell your wife, apologize to her, say y'all gonna be up late watching the Succession tonight.
Thanks,
all right.
Doug, Michelle, thank you. Have a
all right.
Thanks,
all right. Let's go to a break. This is Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri. Now, at a Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
I don't mean to make funny. It's just funny.
What?
You mad at me?
What? About what?
Because I said the light in the tunnel.
Yeah. No, I think it's great.
Okay.
I think it's great. That's what makes us like, they're like, yeah. I think it's great. Look, if I thought I'd get us a few more cases, I'd do it. I'd do a dance on the chair. It's hot.
How long do we have?
Okay, we got 2 more segments.
I know, but how many minutes? I'm thirsty.
You go get what
Nothing but net jumpers, the tenacious throwdown. Ladies and gentlemen, basketball is back. DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports, is celebrating the return to the hardwood by giving new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Playing daily fantasy hoops is easy. Just pick your lineup of pro basketball ballers, stay under the salary cap, and rack up points for three-pointers, rebounds, assists, and more. Score big, and you can score big cash.
And with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes, it's the perfect time to show off your basketball IQ. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app and use code BIG870. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code BIG870, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual support of college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, providing countless opportunities for young people. Resources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 in the SEC
See you, man.
on New Year's Day 2020.
All right. Let me go to Messenger.
Safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 23rd. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your family medicine cabinet of unused and expired prescription drugs. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back.
So lady wants to know how I'm doing.
Visit
Good.
DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription
Thank
drug
you.
misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hey, y'all. Fall's here and you're ready to celebrate. Here's what's happening around the state. October 23rd.
All right, let's see. Richard Brown. Richard.
Sweet Bear in Franklin. October 23rd, annual Sweet Dough Pie Festival in Grand Coteau. Acadia Music Fest in Thibodeau. NOLA River Festival and Brew Fest in Shreveport. October 24th, Platoon Walk de la Ville Flat and New Iberia beneath the Balkans. So make your plans to Lake Baltimore Lake.
This is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Plan your road trip at LouisianaIsATrip.com.
I'm former NBA player Don Cheney. For years, I had carpal tunnel syndrome and joint pain. Then I started having heart-related symptoms like fatigue and palpitations. Turns out I had heart failure caused by hereditary transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare, life-threatening disease underdiagnosed in African Americans. If you're African American and over 50 with heart failure experiencing unresolved symptoms, talk to your doctor or visit DonKnowsHisHeart.com.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Can you pick winners? Well, then you can win cash. It's that simple. In the Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup, just pick the most games right this week, and you can score $1,000. Just like that. No lineups, no spreads, no rosters, and a brand new game each week. The Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup. It's totally free to play, so enter now by texting PICS to 20357. That's PICS to 20357.
Hey, non-lawyer spokesperson. Business and homeowners, if your Hurricane Ida insurance claim has been denied or underestimated, legal help is available. Call Leader Pino, Even and Hawkins Law Firm today.
Yeah, they're all over, buddy.
1500. Responsible attorney Anthony Apino, office in New Orleans.
Well, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will know that you
Here's a
can
question.
try ZipRecruiter for free.
Trump pulls up and says, "You want to ride? You hop in." What do you tell him?
/free. Yes, free.
Trump?
Yeah, he pulls up and says, "You want to ride in my golf cart?" And you hop in. What do you tell him?
Thank you. Thank you for the ride, and thank you for the last 4 years.
Somebody said, I'd say, let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Navien tankless water heaters. The proven live after this technology. Request a Navien because
What did he say?
the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensed
Going live next.
water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sinceri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection. Joe did a great job. That program is a wonderful program. Because I felt like we were like just saying the same old advice, and it was like I felt like you can try this, but this might not, just bang your head against the door and maybe it'll fall down. But I think this program will be a great outlet to deal with a lot of the
especially
claims.
people who just have the roof issue.
The roof
usually
issue,
those will be below 50,000.
Yeah, and it'll be a great program, and I think I would utilize it if the insurance company is not responsive to it. Call the commissioner's office, and they'll track it, and they can do some arm twisting, especially for claims that are under $25,000. It does everybody good to resolve it.
But again, it's just for the wind policy.
For the wind policy, not for flood. All right, we've got a question from Richard, who is a barrister from Ole Miss. Oh. Yes, he's a barrister, lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, and first of all, Richard, Ole Miss is going to lose this weekend.
I was about to say, well, you're going to.
And I take the points too, 9.5. And Corral's probably hurt. He's beat up a little bit, and they're going to hit him hard. He's got a question. He said, a question for the show tonight. I know theoretically, if a worker for a contractor without insurance falls off my roof or somehow injured while working on my property, then he could sue me and I could conceivably be held liable. My question is this: how likely is that to happen?
The guy to fall off the roof or to get sued?
To get sued, if I say, well, likely enough, we had 3 or 4 files in my file cabinet on that situation that's uninsured. Yes.
I guess the question is, how likely is it to fall off the roof? Because if he falls off the roof, I would guarantee you probably got about a 99.9% chance he's going to sue you.
Well, yeah, and for workers' comp, that you almost pay 35 cents on the dollar to insure them because it's so dangerous. And he says, as a practical matter, I am likely to be held responsible for the injuries regardless of fault, and would he have to show that I was somehow negligent? Nope. In workers' comp, if you're uninsured and a worker's working on your house and the contractor is not insured, you don't have to be at fault, and you'd be liable to pay his weekly wages until he's able to return to work and all his medical bills. And if he's unable to return to work, that could be a very long time. Also, he says a very good question. Also, no, I wasn't going to say that. I like Ole Miss.
I do too.
I mean, just because, I remember when I was a kid, 1970, go see Archie Manning play with a broken collarbone. LSU's playing for the SEC championship on ABC with Bud Wilkerson and Chris Schenkel announcing. And I just remember as an 8-year-old, go to heck, Ole Miss, go to heck, except it was HE double hockey sticks. And that's all I remember, walking through the stadium. And then LSU won 61-17. Tommy Casanova ran 2 touchdowns, punt returns back, and Craig Burns ran 1 back. So,
I think you remembered more than the HE double hockey sticks.
Oh, that's all I heard. And that was like the most exciting environment I had ever been through at that time. And at that moment, I already knew I was going to LSU. I was already studying the campus to know where I would live,
so
where my classes were. No, I just remember that as Archie Manning was the quarterback, and but they won 61-17. Now we're back to the question. Also, would my homeowner policy, if it had liability protection, defend me from any judgment up to my policy limits? Bad news for you.
Nope.
If you have a worker who's working on your house, he's uninsured, the contractor doesn't have insured, and he hurts himself, nope, your homeowner's policy has a specific exclusion for that. Next part of it. What if the person who is injured is the unlicensed and uninsured contractor himself rather than the employee? Does that change anything? No. You still can be sued. In fact, if you have an unlicensed, uninsured contractor, he's probably unlicensed and uninsured because he doesn't have any money. And you have a house. So who are you going to go after? The dude with the house or the guy who's got a truck and a cell phone and doesn't have insurance?
That's why you always need to check their insurance. You need to call. Don't just rely on a sheet of paper.
And I don't mean to be sexist. I said dudes because if you had a woman contractor, they would always be licensed and they would always be insured,
and
right?
Would be.
Everything would be in order.
That's
so
right.
Call me sexist by saying that because it would be a dude who would do that, right?
That's right.
Reverse sexist, I guess would be called.
Welcome to our world.
Welcome to our world. And he says, I enjoy the show and sometimes call in. I hope you can cover this tonight. I did. I covered that for you. I think I gave a good explanation. I think I also gave an explanation, you being an Ole Miss grad, that not only is LSU going to cover the points at 9.5, they're going to win the game. All right. We have another.
You always get more than you bargained
for. You get more than what you bargained for.
I'm telling you.
I remember also, too, going up to Jackson, Mississippi, 1979 to watch John Forcade when he quarterbacked, and I think they played to a tie. And so John's listening. He'll call in, or he'll text me about that. He'll get me straight. But John was the second coming of Archie Manning at the time. But and they both played for the Saints. There you go.
A lot of information in that ad.
I know. And you know who was in between them was Norris Weiss, who was from Chalmette. Played on a Super Bowl with Denver Broncos in 1977. In fact, he came in for Craig Martin in the second half when he was ineffective with the Cowboys when they played in the Superdome. Did you know that?
No.
You probably didn't care either. All right. Yeah. Okay. What else? Okay. What else? We got a text. Don't we have a text?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
It says I have minimal damage from the hurricane, so I'm having difficulty getting various tradesmen to come look at the work. My concern is that I may not have time to get the work completed in 6 months' time in order to receive the recoverable depreciation that I'm due. Is asking for an extension unusual?
No. And I think, too, if you do finish after 180 days, an insurance company doesn't pay, I don't think there's a court who would not waive that. I know there's some policies that say you have to file a satisfactory proof of loss within 180 days. All through Katrina, a lot of proof of losses were not submitted until we got involved, which was sometimes 2 years later. Never had a problem. So I would suspect you can, as a courtesy, you can go to the insurance company and ask for an extension. Even if they don't grant it, I don't believe the courts would enforce that. There are certain provisions in the policy that are contrary to the public policy of Louisiana that will not be enforced, and I think that's one of them.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I didn't use any bad English in it either, huh? Improper, no malaprops. It just came out. So it happens every once in a while.
That's why I have to congratulate you when it does.
Yes, well, it happens every once in a while. And Mr. Stabler is now smiling in his grave right now in his blue pants, white shirt, and blue tie. That's what he just used combinations of blue ties and gray ties and khaki pants and white. He always white shirt. But he was great. Dallas Alley. Anybody who went to Dallas Alley had Mr. Stabler. All right, let's go to our final break. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers, Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it would be too difficult or take too much time?
Sorry.
Whether you want to learn Spanish,
Sorry.
your travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to learn a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use.
I don't think we have any more.
And you'll be on your way.
No.
Okay, have 4 minutes.
All right. We're not going to get anything serious.
Language experts using a modern conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable.
No calls.
No calls is not always an indication of love.
Short conversations about real-life topics, and with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel.
Because a lot of people listen, but they already know the answer to the question, but they still listen for reaffirmation.
Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBL.com.
And usually, I don't know. I was looking at these. I was looking at these ratings.
Is your retirement plan out of due? Learn how to get yours into with the First Security Financial Show. Join host David Compton Saturday morning 8 to 9 for helpful tips to retirement. The First Security Financial Show, Saturdays on WWL.
Where are you?
People from all over Louisiana are taking advantage of 5 years zero interest financing at Diamonds Direct. But time is running out. You have until this Saturday to take advantage of this amazing offer. How about a $10,000 engagement rate for just $167 a month? Everything is included, plus a portion of proceeds from every purchase.
So what do you look at?
Ground Force and Second Harvest. This is the last week to take advantage of this offer. 5 years.
Like what do you look at?
Financing through through Saturday only.
These
And
are-
only Diamond
this is
Direct
the rating
Center
points.
Avenue. Hey, givemethevin.com.
This is
We know
the
what it's like
listeners.
selling your cars.
I know, but
Look at the online
where does it
reviews of my
cover? Like,
competition.
for is
The
it just
more
an
you look at their
overall?
reviews and then the more you look
Yeah,
at
for the
Give
time
Me
slot.
Okay, so
the
WWL.
more you're
Okay.
going to want to do business with givemethevin.com.
What's non-urban
We are quick, easy, and you
Why?
don't get lied to. And that's our goal at
I can't wait
America's
to see
very best
Oh, this
car
is
buyers. Sell us your car.
WKBU is an urban station.
Hey, it's
Mayor's
about a
always
year and a half ago, I painted my house with Benjamin Moore paint from Helm Paint Decorating. It came out great and looks brand new.
What did
Now
he
it's time
say?
to the inside, and I'm still going to Helm. Well, they're coming to me. I'm going to call 390-3865. Make an appointment for Jay Armstrong to come over. Take
LSUCKS.
then install my
All right.
signs, plantation shutters, or whatever I did. Inside window treatments are very easy with Helm. Get all the information you need at helmpaint.com.
Hi, Dave Bob right here for River Lanes Insurance Services. Do you have Medicare questions? Understanding Medicare can be a challenge. My friends at River Lanes have a full staff of local and licensed representatives ready to help you choose your best plan. Since 1972, River Lanes Insurance has served the local community, and now they're ready to discuss Medicare with you. Call 504
What's the second? What's the second one?
504-217-7420.
Huh?
Or
What's the
visit
second number?
riverlandsinsurance.com.
What's what?
I trust
What's the
River Lanes
second number?
Insurance. You can too.
Susan, it's
I
so
think
great to finally be
total
able to get together
listeners
again.
at one time.
And I really appreciate
Like I think that's how many listeners listen at some point during. This is a listener at one point
driving so much more again.
during the show.
Get Upside, the free gas app that gives you cash
And that's
back
the
with every
percentage.
dollar. Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash?
Percentage of the people who have a radio listen to it.
Yes, up to 25 cents a
If you got a
gallon.
radio,
Cash
that's
back
how many
every
percent
time I buy
listen to
gas.
it.
Does that actually add up to anything? Some months I make $200 to $300. Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code HAUL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank.
And
That's
you
up to
heard
50
that other
cents a
lady
gallon
was
on your
like,
next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an email.
All right.
Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code HAUL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HAUL.
Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. From the station you turn to when it counts. WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Open Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line. 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. It's Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demarest Sinceri. We'll be on All Things Legal on Sunday morning, and I think we'll be back next week. We'll be back at least once or twice a week until tell us not to come, that you had enough of us. So we'll let you know. We'll post something on. We'll talk to Miss Diane Newman, and we'll figure out what we're going to do next week. And Richard, he sent in our last text. He was saying that he was at Ole Miss when Archie Manning was there. And I had this wonderful age moment where I realized I'm maturing. Is that we have a conference room. In our conference room, we have all these sports figures in black and white, anywhere from Joe Louis, Babe Ruth, Pete Maravich, and we have a picture of Archie Manning. And a young fellow walks in and says, we're going through all the pictures, Y.A. Tittle, Muhammad Ali, Larry Bird. They're all in it's like a little hall of fame in our conference room. And he says, who's number 8? And I said, that's Archie Manning. He used to quarterback for the Saints. And he said, oh, is he any relation to Peyton and Eli? And I'll say, yeah, I think they know each other. So that was my age moment. And they also wanted to know why Pete Maravich played in his underwear, because that's when they wore the shorts real tight, So I went through all the pictures and explained it to him, but I did tell him that Archie did have a connection to the two young men. So, and then, the funny part, and I don't know, Bobby's probably asleep, but I don't want to make him feel old. He didn't know who Bobby, he didn't know, he heard Bobby in the radio, but he didn't know he played for the Saints.
how old is this person?
He was like in his 20s. His first memory of a quarterback was transitioning from Aaron Brooks to Drew Brees. That was his frame of reference. So, that was just interesting. But the LSU Ole Miss game, they were like LSU Tulane type of rivalry, 40 years ago. They hated each other. In fact, the Billy Cannon run was against Ole Miss. and then Ole Miss beat them the next year, I think, in the Sugar Bowl. That I'm not sure if that kept them from winning a second national championship, but that was a great rivalry. And it's sort of back now, especially since Coach O and Lane Kiffin coach together. They're very good friends. Lane Kiffin wants the job, but he'll never get it, because if they thought they had a problem with Coach O's bravado, Lane Kiffin would make Coach O look like a Franciscan monk off the field. So I don't think LSU has. Really I don't think LSU has the stomach for Lane Kiffin. I think they're going to get somebody super squeaky clean, who's got no baggage. They're going to go back to his grammar school.
Can you really get somebody that has no baggage?
Well, one person said, if you wanted a coach who didn't write any nasty emails and acted right off the field, the list would be very small.
Well,
if that's your criteria.
People are human.
Yeah, people are human. So, and I guess it's interesting as you coach. Your humanity's okay if you're 15-0, but your humanity is unacceptable when you're 4-3. So that's just the way it is. All right, we're going to be back on Sunday morning, All Things Legal, with Albert Nico and myself from 8 to 10. So we'll see you then, and we'll be back sometime next week. We'll let you know. But in the meantime, have a great week. Thank you, Michelle, for walking across the hall and accompanying us. Appreciate
you for having me.
And thank you for correcting my English also and my grammar. Always. On air and off air. All right, so we'll be back. We'll see you Sunday morning. God bless, and see you soon.
Are we not doing it next week?
Yeah, 1 or 2 days. Yeah, I don't know. Well,
I thought she was going to keep us 2 days until the end of the month.
Yeah, I think she is.
Oh, okay, because the end of the month
she didn't come out with a schedule.